Why did my boss think he could humiliate me in front of the CEO? My manager, Derek, had this thing about looking brilliant in meetings. Not by doing actual work, but by ambushing his team with gotcha questions. His favorite target was me. Quick, what was the Q3 variance on the Henderson account? He'd fire off during unrelated discussions. Negative 4.2%, I'd answer. Actually, it's 4.3%. He'd smirk. It was 4.2%. I'd checked. But arguing made you look defensive. This went on for months. He'd interrupt my presentations to clarify things I'd already explained. He'd ask for numbers from reports he knew I hadn't touched in weeks. Once, he asked me to recite our 47-point compliance checklist from memory during a birthday party in the break room. Then came November's quarterly review. The CEO was visiting. Derek had been strutting around all week, warning everyone to be prepared for tough questions. The night before, Derek emailed me at 11:47 p.m. Need complete Patterson project metrics for tomorrow. All deliverables, timelines, and budget variances. Everything. I stayed up until 3 a.m. preparing a 62-slide presentation. Emailed it to him at 3:31 a.m. Subject line, Patterson metrics, complete deck attached. The meeting arrives. CEO are there. Regional directors, the works. Halfway through, Derek suddenly goes, speaking of execution, let's put our project lead on the spot. He turned to me with this little smile. Tell us about the Patterson project. Specifically, why we're 3 weeks behind schedule and $12,000 over budget. We weren't behind, or over budget. Actually, we're 2 weeks ahead and under budget by $8,000. Derek laughed. I don't think so. Maybe you should review your own project. I did. At 3 a.m. this morning, when I sent you the complete report you requested. I never received any. I pulled out my laptop, connected it to the screen. There it was. Email. Timestamp. Read receipt showing he'd opened it at 6:43 a.m. Should I walk everyone through the deck you asked for? Dead silence. The CEO leaned forward. Derek, you had this information since 6:43 this morning? I must have missed. Slide 47 shows we're ahead of schedule, I said, clicking through. Slide 51 has the budget variance. We saved $8,000 by renegotiating vendor contracts, which I highlighted in yellow in the email summary. The regional director asked, Derek, why did you say they were behind? Derek's face went from red to white. I might have confused it with another, the Pemberton project? I asked. That one's yours. It's 6 weeks behind. The CEO turned to Derek. Is that true? I pulled up the project dashboard. Derek's name. 6 weeks behind. $31,000 over budget. I've been meaning to discuss that, Derek stammered. The CEO looked at me. Do you have those metrics prepared too? Yes. Derek forwards me his projects to review. I assumed he'd want them presented today. I showed Derek's disaster of a project. Missing deadlines, ignored emails from vendors, a client complaint he'd buried. The CEO stood up. Derek, my office, now. Then to me. Nice work. Send me that Patterson deck directly. Derek was moved to a non-management role the next week. He now reports to someone who reports to someone who reports to me. Yesterday, he asked if I could review his expense report. Quick question, I said. What's the company policy on meal reimbursements? $75 per day for, actually it's $60. Maybe you should review the employee handbook you wrote. He submitted the corrected report without another word.